to the 6, we be in the mix. With that rare candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, I can't do that shit. And I don't never vote, cause I'm fucking broke. And either way, I know the police ain't gon' leave me alone. On a plane by the visit Glen Rock, need crypto told me I should bring the Glock with me. So I packed up my piece and I'm sliding. Cause we might get caught up in a riot. Middle finger Trump, middle finger Biden. Fuck a left, fuck a right, is you riding? Know you love to see it, dudes rocking. Ain't no politics, baby, we just talking. From the birds to the bricks, we be in the mix. With that rare candy paint job on the whip, who you with?
Welcome to the cat-friendly podcast. This is the Cat Cast. No, if you guys aren't watching, I started uploading videos to Spotify now, so people like watch our videos now. People found out like that we have faces and stuff. It's funny. It's like we've never been hiding, but like I guess just people that listen on Spotify, it shows up on the thing. It's pretty funny. But we have a director, J. Curtis Miller, here today. And recently, I just watched his short called Jack, which was really, really good. Halloween special. I think that's gonna be something I return to every Halloween and stuff. But tell me about Knuckles right now.
Knuckles?
That is something that you're fundraising for it right now, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we've got about a little more than a week to go, or I think tomorrow we got one more week. But
Okay.
yeah, that's my next film project. It's kind of like a short film proof of concept hybrid, and yeah, it's basically so the past few films I've done has been horror, as you mentioned, in Jack, and this other short that I did called MK Ultraviolence. That was more like kind of psychedelic horror. But I've been as we'll talk about later in this episode, I've been wanting to do like a really cool fight scene for a very long time. It's been kind of like in my blood, I guess. And Knuckles is just kind of just one big long fight scene set in a trailer park on the 4th of July. And yeah, it's and throughout the fight, you kind of like learn why these two men are fighting and like their backstory and all that stuff. It's kind of like my first foray into like non-linear filmmaking. So that should be fun. So
the fight scene is something I've noticed is, you know, you see these like trends come, you know, I feel like a couple years ago, everybody was like, especially during like COVID, was sitting down and watching like Tarkovsky films, watching like high concept, you know, almost surrealist stuff that was kind of tough to grasp. I feel like everybody now just wants to like kick ass. I've noticed, like our good friend, J. David Osborne, I've been going through his new book, which everybody needs to go out and get. God's Fair No Better. Get that, guys. Get it. It's great. But it's just fights. I mean, it's just guys getting their asses fucking kicked in, and it's just like, you know, there's great all the stuff you can do around that, and not everything is just a John Wick movie, which I like those too. But it's just so much. There's so much you can do when it's two men battling, because that's what we don't really see much anymore. There's usually too many other moving parts involved that you know, that takes away some of the fangs of these things.
Yeah. One thing I kind of, when I was writing the script, even when I just had like the idea for it, I wanted to kind of get out of the whole, like, we're in a warehouse, we're in a SWAT team, a handheld shaky cam, and just like one dude taking on like 10 guys, and it's like all mixed martial arts, karate. I wanted to get away from that. I just wanted like two dudes just like bare knuckled fists, just pounding on each other. It's more stylized in like a boxing type of fight, less of like realistically it'd be like on the ground and wrestling. But I don't know. I think there's just something really satisfying about a good like 1-2 punch, and just like being swollen faces, you know, blood gushing and sweating and all that stuff.
Have you guys ever seen somebody get like truly, I'm talking like knocked out, like punching like a raw steak sound? Like have you ever seen that happen in real life? It is crazy. Like not in a controlled setting, not in like a MMA or boxing, but like outside a club or something. It's insane.
I haven't seen that. The closest I ever got to was like 9th grade when I was like a freshman in high school. during like 2 days during football season.
There you go.
I think the seniors would kind of like haze the freshmen a little bit
Oh yeah.
and make us start like, it wasn't even the seniors, it was like the sophomores, because they had been like
Yeah.
hazed the year prior. They wanted to like
They're
dish it out.
chomping at the bit. They don't have senioritis. They're like still trapped in it, and they're like, I'm not a
Yeah.
freshman anymore. I totally know what you're saying. Yeah.
And they're also like fresh meat for like the JV team that goes up against the varsity team during practice, because like the varsity team needs like they need somebody to tackle like during these plays. But yeah, they like, I can't remember if it was like in between those really long 2-day practices, like after lunch or something, we had like an hour to like chill down before the next one. And they were slapboxing each other. And the worst I ever got was like right on my right ear.
Oh, the ear.
Like full palm, like hit me in the face, and my ear just started ringing for like hours. And like, it kind of made me dizzy too.
Yeah.
And like, we were doing like tackle drills, because I was like on the offensive line. And I just like almost passed out. Just like hours later, just this constant ringing, and my ear was fully like swollen and all that stuff. So
were you a mauler or a tactician offensive lineman? Did you like to go run block, or were you pass setting and just, crafty?
I was third wheel, trying to just like not get trying to get into the game, because I was so like terrible. I wasn't like I'm like on the shorter side, so like I was definitely bulky, but I wasn't tall and big enough to like, really like protect the ball or anything. So I was just here because like, trying to be popular and all that stuff.
Hell yeah. Oh, hey, I mean, that's the way to do it. So yeah, I'm thinking about, so I love movies. However, making them is still such a foreign concept to me. And the more and more I hear about them, the less likely I ever would want to be a part of them. The best thing is when somebody just goes, hey, can you help me make my movie by clicking this link? Yes, sure. I'm there. I'm absolutely there. Yeah, I love it. I'm loving this concept. But I think a lot of independent movies don't have a lot of fight scenes. Are they expensive to make? Like a film that involves a lot of fighting, is that more expensive? I never know. You hear about like Severance costing like $58 billion or whatever, and I'm like, why? Why does it cost? I never know why movies cost the way they do. We're talking about a couple big budget ones today, but the like a fight scene, like what goes into that? What in terms of spending?
Most of the money is just kind of allocated towards getting the proper crew. Like the entire fight is set at night, so that's like 2 overnight shoots, so like 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. sort of thing, and nobody's showing up for free for something like that. So I want to make sure like the crew is compensated for their time. I haven't gotten too deep into like prep with like how I'm going to light it, but they have these things called condor lights, which are these big massive light sources that you kind of just like shoot into like a white board, and it just kind of casts a light everywhere like on the set, so like you can see, because it's hard to, even with digital cameras now, it's like it's still like kind of hard to capture like all the nuances of the set and all that. So that's like a big reason. But for like fighting, I don't really see that costing like more than like an average horror film to me, because I'd hire on like a stunt coordinator, and then they would just kind of like help me block it and rehearse the fight beforehand and be on set for like any sort of last minute tweaks during takes with the actors and all that stuff. But I think most of it is going into like the location and some of the fireworks around the fight. Well, I said it was like set on the 4th of July, so there'll be some fireworks in the background during that, and just people like extras around the fight, since it's a street fight. So that's like I'm trying to make it as maximalist as I can on this type of short film and budget. So that's where it's kind of going towards.
Yeah, and it's interesting because you know, I wonder, I don't even know the way to ask this. I listen to a lot of like Bret Easton Ellis podcasts where he just talks about like, you know, people will always ask him like, hey, Bret, I wrote a script the other day. Like, where should I shop it? And he's like, I have no idea. He's like, I
Yeah.
don't like, this system that you're trying to get into doesn't really exist.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure it does to a degree, but I think what he's saying is like, this is not like, you know, rolling into Hollywood, you know, I got my script, who wants it? Like,
Right.
you got to do everything on your own now, which
Yeah.
is a blessing and a curse, I would guess, right?
Yeah. It's easier now to make a movie of your, like, any, like, if you want to make a movie, you could totally do it.
Right.
One man band. I mean, obviously, like, friend of the show, like Low Res, has done that twice with his feature films. It's just when it's kind of like a sole director, filmmaker type of endeavor, it's just going to take longer. You can make a project easier these days, but it's like harder to get it seen. I think that's where we're kind of like in a weird space, but
podcasting is very similar, by the way.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can record it. Like it's the easiest thing to ever record. It's literally the easiest thing to do. The hardest thing to do is for someone to go, yeah, I'll listen to that.
Yeah. But in a way that's like, I mean, I can hear your take on it, but like, to me, it's like almost a little bit more freeing because you kind of over time find your like your core audience, like that's like, you know, it's a niche audience or sort of thing. And like, I don't know, like all these big, I don't listen to like big podcasts. Like I can't stand like, overdone, overproduced, just garbage, you know, like that's like, so we're in kind of like a cool, like indie spot with like all sorts of media, which is exciting.
We're going to get you right back to the episode, but I just wanted to let you guys know of a few other things we offer at Rare Candy Industries. We have a Substack with free and paid subscription options. Free subscribers get access to all written content. That includes Bob's Red Pill. That's the best thing going on the internet right now. Trust me. Paid subscribers get full access to our premium episode feed. And that's just every episode we don't necessarily want to share with the general public, if you know what I'm saying. Again, that's rarecandy.substack.com. We also have merch. That link's a little long for me to say right now, but go to the description, go to our merch store, and find a shirt that's right for you. We have Rare Candy shirts, Dr. Bronner soap label shirts, Rishi mushroom shirts, all types of stuff there. Check it out. There's got to be something for you. And lastly, check us out on social media. On Instagram, we're Rare Candy Pod, but on Twitter, we're at Rare Candy Pod 1. All right, enough of that. Let's get you back into the episode.
Yeah, no, exactly. I guess, you know, to say from my side, it's easy to like, it's for a while you have to be comfortable with crickets. You know, I've noticed that is like, you have to be comfortable talking to nobody, you know, you have to be, or you know, your movie just sitting on YouTube or whatever. Like it's gonna, you have to be able, that's the hardest part of it all, is just going like, I know this thing's cool. I felt this euphoric feeling when I got done with it. Why is nobody clicking on this? But after a while, people respect your consistency, and just love that it's like there every week. You know, and the podcast is very guest dependent, so a lot of times people go, "Oh, that guy's going on there. Maybe I'll check that out." But for the most part, I would hate to have a boss in this. You know, like it's. I think we both would have got tired of this shit, even if the audience was 3 times the size. I think we both would have got tired of actually doing this shit if we had somebody coming over with analytics, and showing us like, hey, around the 30-minute mark of every episode, we noticed something peters out a little, or, you know, just something like that would drive me insane. Now, I like, you know, I'm comfortable, and I think I speak for him as well. I'm comfortable with just kind of like, we did this and this is what it is, and we can try whatever we want. It can fail, and we could just try again next week, you know?
Totally.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, like with film, it's the thing with film, and you know, talking to people like Low Res, I'm like, man, you sit on projects forever, which that to me is the true torture, you know, is just sitting on something. If I have to sit on something for like a week, I hate it. You know what I mean? It's like, that's the problem, is like finding the right, for film, I'm just like, do you just put it on YouTube? Do you shop it to people? Like, you have the finished product, then what do you do? You know, that's the part I find fascinating with film today.
Yeah. YouTube does help, especially in the horror genre.
Yeah.
You can, upload like whatever horror film you have. And if it has like a good thumbnail and it says horror like in all caps, like in parentheses, like it's gonna get fed into some algorithm. And
Yeah.
like a lot of people get noticed that way, but like I've done the film festival route. Like I think that's like a dead avenue to like pursue. Like
Okay.
I mean, I had a friend that like had this incredible short film last year and went like all over the country and other parts of the world. And it's like, I am nowhere closer of getting an actual movie deal made than I was before I made this. So it's
Yeah.
tough. I think, I don't know, like creating some sort of online fan base and then like releasing it that way, like direct to consumer could work. I don't know, because obviously you still want to be in theaters and like get
Yeah.
because that's what we're making it for. Like even every time I make a short film, like I'm setting up the shot for this going to be in theaters,
Right.
even if it's like just going to play in some crappy film festival and like some you know hardly could call it a theater, but I don't know. It's definitely tough, but I think like the more you go like do it yourself, like that avenue, and the more you do it, I think you're bound to like reach those deals later on, because I think that's basically like Sean Baker's story, like
Director of Anora, who just won for right. That's what you're talking about. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I think that's I think that's the way to go, because it's like you know when you're doing stuff independently, you do sometimes go like, what am I doing though? Like, how long can I do this? There's kind of a clock ticking sometimes. It's tough when you get near the wrong side of 30, especially like me. It's just kind of like, how long can I actually do this? How long can I actually like carve out time in the evening and step away? And even if the number goes up a little bit, you're kind of like, yeah, but when does the big thing happen? Does the big thing happen? But that's why it's like nice, even though it's a completely dead archaic system, it is nice to hear people like the random I don't know, the random directors of like the 70s that everyone champions now, like they took L after L after L on like grand scales, and you're just like, wow, that is a special kind of humiliation, is like, and then you get a guy like Francis Ford Coppola who takes a job that ends up being The Godfather, you know what I'm saying? And like you do a similar thing. I noticed, and I'm not saying you're taking a job, but like you do music videos. Quite a few of them, including a guest that we've had on the show, Mario Cuomo. You did the Leftovers music video, which is fantastic. That was a fantastic music video. Great song, by the way. I mean, it's a great song, great video. He was telling the story that happened kind of like, that was just like a go thing, right? Like it was real quick.
Yeah. He had sent me the song back in like August or September of last year. We shot it in November. And it was just a matter of like, when can we schedule a date for you to come down to Nashville, shoot this in like a day, and have it done and ready by like Thanksgiving. So like we worked out those kinks. But like it's weird because like, it's weird doing like night shoots for a music video, because actors are not going to hang around to like after 10 on a music video that's like pretty low budget.
Well, if you decide to do rap, they will. By the way, I'm just kidding.
Of course, I've not done rap. I've done close to rap, like country rap. I don't know if that.
Gotcha.
But yeah, like, so that's like just awkward timing. So like the shoot ended up being like 5 hours. But like when it's in such a tiny kitchen, I was in my friend's kitchen, like you're able to just move around quickly and get angles much quicker than like moving location and moving crew. And I had a pretty small crew, like some of my friends from other music videos I did. So that's like kind of what made it so fast. And like editing, it took me longer to edit than to like film, because that one was just like, there's so many different like angles and shots of Mario that I wanted to kind of like savor and like see where I can throw that in at the second chorus. I like throwing in like different angles at like the second or third chorus, and then just like cutting together the storyline, that was just kind of like the challenging aspect of that.
And I'd imagine being in Nashville puts you in proximity to some decent artists too to do music videos too, I would imagine.
Yeah. I'm mostly working like country music, mainly editing, but lately I've been kind of directing like smaller, they call them visualizers now. There's like the official music video that you see on YouTube is starting to die down. And that basically means like they're cutting budgets in like half, but they still want a video for content. So it's kind of like a glorified performance video. So that's like kind of where I come in. But like if you look at music videos from like the 80s and 90s, most of those are like glorified, or like not glorified, they are like the pinnacle of performance videos. It's just the artist like lit really well and shot really well, except for David Fincher and Michael Bay, who've made some pretty awesome music videos.
Fincher did a Madonna video, right?
I think so.
Yeah, I forget which one, but I know he did a Madonna video. But yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a long-standing history with film directors doing music videos. It happens. Yeah, I think what David Lynch did the Wicked Game one, right? For Chris Isaac, I think, or maybe I have that wrong. I'm not sure.
No, he's done some of his own music videos that are super bizarre.
Yeah. Wicked Game's kind of chill. Yeah, compared to that, but yeah, absolutely. So, when you're a kid, I mean, is this a passion you've had since you were a kid? Is this something you picked up in your 20s or whatever? Or what's the thing? What's the thing you watched that was like, I want to do that?
Well, I mean, like it's like honestly, it's these two movies. Like weirdly enough, like I saw Rocky way before Cliffhanger, but that's like what got me onto like the Stallone kick. But yeah, I've been wanting to do this ever since I was like really young. Like for some reason, like back when we had VHS, I'd like record like every like Sunday night movie, and that to me felt like filmmaking by pressing the record button and then like taping over it felt like editing. I don't know, but I just basically want to do it since I was like really young, and it just found like music videos was like a good way to just kind of like almost like a real film school where you could kind of like experiment and like kind of like mess around with stuff and like learn how to command a crew and craft and all that stuff.
Yeah, sweet. Well, I mean, that's a perfect segue into let's talk about Cliffhanger first, because I don't know a lot about Sylvester Stallone. I did not grow up watching Sylvester Stallone. I mean, you do, but not in the way that a lot of people do. He was not everybody had their like action hero staple in their house. And typically I've noticed it was somebody that like the mom thought was hot and then the dad thought was cool, and they had like a mutual appreciation. And then as a kid, you watch all their movies. For me, it's the second guy we're talking about. But Sylvester Stallone, and I have seen I've seen a lot more Stallone films, but I mean, he has an interesting origin story. I mean, I'll tell you that much. But tell me about Stallone before we get into Cliffhanger. Why Stallone? Why is he such an institution?
Well, for me, it all started with Rocky. I guess like my personal journey with Stallone, it's all about like just seeing that. I can remember like clear as day when I first saw Rocky. I was just like, I think it was like a snow day and I had nothing to do. And I was just like walking around the house and my dad was watching Rocky. And it was that scene where he confronts Mickey at the gym, asking why he never gave him a shot. And then he tells him he's just like nothing but a loan shark and had the talent. But now that he's like 30, like you're washed up as a boxer and like you wasted all that time breaking knuckles and like not, fighting in the ring. And I had no idea what that meant when I was like 5 or 6 years old. But like just the way he walked, the way he talked, like his cadence in his voice was very just like unique for a leading man. I can't remember. I should know this like off the top of my head, but he was born with like a cleft palate or something.
That makes
sense.
Like
so like half of his face is kind of like droopy and paralyzed a little bit, like very minuscule. I might be completely wrong on that fact, but like that's kind of like what gives him that Stallone draw, because his like brother doesn't have it.
Right.
So he just has like kind of like that kind of unique persona going on. And for me, it's just like he kind of does what we're all doing right now. He like wrote Rocky for himself in like a 3-day span, based off that one boxer. I know his first name's Chuck. I don't know like everybody's name, like verbatim, but like he knocked out, I think, Muhammad Ali in like the 3rd or 4th round.
Oh,
which is
yeah, I know you're talking about. Yeah.
Chuck Webner. I don't know. I could be wrong. Yeah. So he saw that. I think he saw that live at like Madison Square Garden, and then
Chuck Webner. Chuck Webner.
Webner. Yeah.
Mhm.
And then he just like stayed up for 3 days and started writing Rocky, and then he would not back down. You know, when he was trying to shop this around to studios, because they wanted like Burt Reynolds or I think even like Frank Sinatra was like, there's always like that list of actors that like was going to play this role, but he like wouldn't back down. He like sold his dog that he bought back during production, who's butt kissed. So like that kind of like that I don't know, that kind of like endurance or something is just like always captivated me. And I think I saw Cliffhanger like right around the time I saw The Patriot too, because that they were both like on TV.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, like for me, I think I've seen Cliffhanger more than like any other movie, especially of Stallone's, because that opening scene, and rewatching it last week, it's like it's so gut wrenching. It's like I think Cliffhanger is like his Mission Impossible, because like they do that huge helicopter shot where he's like underneath the cliff, and it's really him, you know, climbing that mountain. It's like insane.
Yeah.
I don't know, that movie just has such a propulsive like pace to it. There's like no fat at all to it. It's just like go.
It's crazy, and you think Cliffhanger is really cool. Like I had never seen it actually. Before
really?
this. Yeah, I had never seen it. I knew what it was. I was like, wow, a Denver, Colorado like rock climbing action drama. It sounds incredible. And Stallone looks like hyper jacked in this. It's out of control. Like just lat pull-ups all day. It's just such a show off like testosterone Stallone movie. And it's got this, I mean, you think it blows its wad early, particularly with the plane towing scene. Like you think, you're like, how do you like, okay, the rest of the movie's gonna be lame like after this, because you think, and then you're like, nah, actually a guy gets rammed into an icicle and impaled by an icicle, but like Stallone doing like a devastating a guy. It's amazing. I love it. I was like, have you seen this movie before?
No, I didn't know about it. But then once I totally got it, I was like, oh yeah, I see what this is. And I love the backstory. Michael Rooker, he's just taking L after L the whole movie.
I know.
Michael Rooker, who played Henry Lee Lucas in Portrait of a Serial Killer, which is an unhinged ass movie. Like you're just you can't. It took me a while. I was like, damn, that's Henry Lee Lucas right there. Like, that's crazy.
And I'm not ashamed to admit, I'm like, oh, that's the Walking Dead guy, the Merle, or from the early.
Oh,
season.
I've never even seen that.
Yeah, he's like the brother or something. Yeah, so that was pretty funny.
John Lithgow. I mean, you have John Lithgow hitting the British accent. Love it. Every part. I just love these like it's got everything that's like really cozy about that era too, of just like big action intro, and then guys walking with like folders. This guy's a bad fucking guy. This is a bad dude. This manila folder, you open it up, look at all this crazy shit he did. And and then and then the beautiful Colorado scenes, the beautiful horse ranch, whatever, the horse rehabilitation ranch with this horse girl, ex-wife, girlfriend. I have no idea. He's wearing like a wedding ring. I couldn't even remember what their relationship was. But
I didn't catch that.
Well, he had a wedding ring on.
Oh, okay.
Which is interesting. I was like, wait, is there like a dead wife or something? It doesn't matter. It literally doesn't matter.
It does not matter.
Yeah, it doesn't matter at all. It's it's kind of feminine of me to observe that, to be honest, about Stallone, but it was just hilarious. Shout out to Leon, by the way. I love the actor Leon. He popped up. Just the other day we with Low Res we covered Above the Rim, where he's with he's Tupac's brother in Above the Rim. And he's a ex-basketball player who threw a dream away. And
nice.
And he also played David Ruffin in the Temptations movie, which was something I watched over and over and over again as a kid. It's probably bad, but I just like had it on all the time, randomly. And then I was like, he's like Ichiro. He just has like one name in the credits.
Yeah.
I love him.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. He's like,
too.
he's not a star in any way, shape, or form, but he's like, yeah, I only have one name. It's Leon.
Yeah,
I
know.
Love that shit.
Like growing up, I was like, who is that guy? Because I like never like matched who was playing who. It was like Leon. I was always like guessing which actor that was.
Yeah,
but
it's incredible. But yeah, I just like this seems like such a fun project, you know what I mean? Like such a fun thing to make. Like, you know, there's like, it's probably got the same arduous process that making any movie is, but you're just like,
oh yeah,
as the viewer, you're just like, that looks so fucking sick. That looks so fun. You know, like kids playing with toys, like ramming vehicles together, Michael Bay and South Park kind of thing.
The helicopter, like I remember getting like a helicopter that looked like that for Christmas because I was so obsessed with that movie. And I'm single digits, like, you know, kid watching this movie. It like rewatching it still like kind of holds up. And like obviously in like some of the wide shots when the helicopter's like hanging, like they're hanging from quite a distance. Those stuntmen are like fighting on this helicopter, and there's like I'm assuming there's like a safety net underneath, but I'm like, that could still like break and fall. Like obviously like Stallone and Jonathan Lithgow were probably in like a studio, but that still like looks insane and sick to me. So
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, you hear about that too. Like you hear about the Sam Peckinpah like stuff. Like people just like fall. Like there's a scene. I heard J. David Osborne bring this up, and I know exactly what he's talking about. There's a scene in like The Wild Bunch, and this is what, late 60s, where there's a guy who like gets shot like Western style out of like the top of a, you know, like a 2-story kind of thing, and he just falls. And he falls really awkwardly. Like, I don't think he was meant to fall on this random piece of wood. And I'm like, did that guy die?
Yeah.
I was like, that guy, I have a feeling that guy died or something, or had like internal bleeding or something like insane. Where it's like, man, and then like, that's why when you watch like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, like the Cliff Booth character played by Brad Pitt, it's like when you realize like what stuntmen actually do for like in Hollywood, I don't know if it's that way anymore. It's probably not. It's probably all Marvel with like the little light bulb things all over you. You know, I'm assuming that's how stuff does. But man, there was an era where it was like stuntmen were probably so tight. Like,
oh yeah, I think there's like, I don't know why this reminded me of this movie, but obviously like animals too are like dead in like some of these older movies. Like, I don't know if you've seen Heaven's Gate. There's so many shots of these like horses that take like head dives on the side of mountains. I'm like, that horse is dead. Even if it like walked away, it's like, that's, you know, it's insane. But
Andrei Rublev is another one, which is crazy, where like there's a horse that like there's a battle, there's the Mongols or whatever that are invading the Russia. It's a very old school movie, and I just know in like communist Soviet Union, like they were not tripping off killing an animal in a movie. I could just tell, and especially in, you know, in the, well, I forget when that was made, probably the 60s or something. And there's a horse that like runs up some steps like out of fear and then just straight topples down and falls down. I was like,
oh yeah,
I'm pretty sure that horse died, and, and that's like it's sad. And Police Story is another one. If you watch
that's a good one.
The first Police Story with Jackie Chan, you're like, holy shit!
Yeah,
like the stuff that movie alone is like, just for the stunts is like unreal, and it is this very funny movie too. But I was just like, these movies are crazy, but like, the deaths keep getting crazier and crazier in Cliffhanger. That's what I like about it. And it's, you know, the name is a bit of a double entendre, but like it's just like, it was so fun. My wife and I watched it. You know, you open some beers and just throw it on. It's just totally one of those movies, which is a genre that doesn't exist anymore. Not so much that action, but the like open up some beers and have some fun movie. Like,
like the closest we get is like Top Gun Maverick, which is like, it's a really good movie, but it's not as like gory or violent. Like, I would argue Cliffhanger in parts is like a slasher, especially how he kills Leon.
Leon with the blood in his mouth. The blood in his mouth is crazy. You're like, whoa.
Yeah, and it kind of comes out of nowhere. like you think Stallone's about to get killed, and he just like hits him in the balls, grabs him by the balls, and just shoves him through that like little.
Yeah.
It's not even an icicle, but it's like something in a cave, you know.
The transporter movies were like the last time I remember just thinking like, look how cool this guy is, and he's gonna be cool, and nobody's gonna kick his ass. There's gonna be times where you're gonna think like, oh man, he's really gotten himself into it now, and then but you know they're gonna get out of it. Like John Wick is great. I like the John Wick movies, but he's kind of like a sad sack character a little bit. And and then there's like that god awful Bob Odenkirk one where he's like John Wick. Terrible. Just like I was like, no. Can the guy be cool and like appealing and like women get excited about him? You know what I mean? Like, can that be a thing? Can we scratch primal itches with these movies a little bit?
Yeah, the thing about like that movie with Bob Odenkirk, Nobody.
Yeah, Nobody.
It's like
there you go.
It's trying to take an everyman and make him like an assassin and can kick everybody's ass and kill everybody, but like the way movies like Cliffhanger and Die Hard and even like Lethal Weapon, they're able to take these like larger than life guys and like they have like kind of, there he goes again.
I love that.
There's a cat cameo. They're able to take like these larger than life guys and like give them like every man like backstories, but like also make them like super likable and like basically like these killing machines. But it does it so well. I don't know, like for me, like John Wick, it's fun, but it's taking itself like too seriously, but also not at the same time. It's like doesn't know how to commit. Like these movies like Cliffhanger, like the character Gabe Walker, it's like this is just who he is. Like he's able to like protect himself because he knows these mountains. But it also is kind of funny. It's like he has no qualms about killing these guys anyway, too. It's like it's not even like brought up as like a thing, you know.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
You're right. And nowadays I think you have like it's weird. There's obviously you can go back and a lot of like kind of like movie podcasty people will go back and Cobra's a big one with Stallone that they do, and they go, this is absurd, let's laugh at it, like this is absurd. But then like nowadays you see the new films that are like this, like let's take that Bob Odenkirk movie, the irony's baked in already. It's almost like they're they're trying to avoid that crowd a little bit, and I'm like, nah, just let them do that, like it's fun, who cares, like it's still you know, I wish I could have seen Cliffhanger on like in the era of like big sprawling cinema of the early 90s where I could just be like, that's playing this weekend. I saw the commercial for that on the football game this weekend. I'm going to go see that. And then you're just like, next weekend, something else is really cool is coming out too. But like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like it was just no big deal. And you weren't worried about like, I could get bad reviews, but not really. Like a movie like that's not, if it's done that well, it's going to do well. You know, if it's made that well, it's going to do well.
Well, like they put so much, and I wouldn't call this. I don't know if this is like an average action movie of the 90s, because this was like pretty big budget for its time. I think it was like 50 million, which is like 150 or 200 now.
Sure.
So like definitely putting like a lot of stake into it, but it's not like they're on location, like filming in these mountains. They're like freezing their ass off. Like half the shots are like not. I don't know how much you know about like continuity, but like half these don't match because it's like snowing in one shot and then it'll be like overcast, like slightly overcast, sunny, because it's like they're on location, you know. And like you can't get those vistas anywhere else. Like now they just put it in like a VR background, like moving background, but like that, and then like that stunt that was like mentioned earlier on the planes, like that's a real guy like sliding across two planes, and like that's like three planes up in the air, and like this cameraman's just like trying to film it and make sure it's like in focus, you know. It's, I don't know, like that's why you go to the movies, you know, like that's because you want to see these like larger than life spectacles on screen. And that's like going back to your comment about like Cobra and how these really annoying like podcasts like make fun of it. It's like, dude, like you have what else are you going to do? It's like, that's what at the time, that's like what made movies so special. It's like,
Yeah.
it was cool. It still is cool. It's like, but you're not like cool enough to like get it, and you have to make it so ironic. But that's like another tangent.
Well, there's a little too much testosterone for them to actually lean into it sometimes. Like they're trying they're trying to hate on something because it's not in vogue anymore. I mean, we know like maybe they're hating on it to hate on it. Like there's this classic laugh at everything. Big problem when you go to screenings now and stuff of people just laughing.
Yeah.
Like that was my bet. I went and saw Terrifier 3, which I don't think is as good as 2. A lot of people liked it more than 2, but I went and saw it, and people first off, there were kids in the audience. People would just like kids, which I'm like, you should not take your kids to see this. No. And but then everybody was laughing. I'm like, there's parts of Terrifier that are kind of funny, but like they're laughing at like everything, and it was just people laughing at gore, and I was like, I don't like this, like people are laughing.
I went to see like 4 David Lynch movies at my local theater, like Art House Theater, because I'm like, I'm gonna hate the experience of watching it with these people, but I have to see this. I've never seen a David Lynch movie on the big screen. I have to do it.
Same.
And like it's the same thing. It's like they're laughing at all the moments that are like inappropriate to laugh at. Like they were laughing at like Isabella Rossellini near the end of the movie at Blue Velvet, when she's like fully naked, but it's like not a sexy naked. She was completely like raped and like beat up, and like she's asking for help, and they're like laughing at it because she has like a funny voice, and they're like laughing at like throughout Lost Highway. Like it was
laughing at Lost Highway. That's not allowed.
I know, it was like, but it's funny because they would laugh at like the memeable stuff.
Yeah, Robert Loggia or whatever, he says some funny things, at least.
That his PSA about not tailgating is like something I live by
all time.
But I could sense they were getting uncomfortable during all the like sex scenes and nude scenes, which is interesting. Like I could hear some like people squirm. It's like, I don't know, like they want to laugh at it, but they also can't handle it at the same time.
Well, they're like, was the intimacy coordinator consulted during this?
I know.
Not my poor sweet David. He's a eunuch. He would never do something. It's like, no, David Lynch has a libido like every man used to.
Right.
David Lynch likes all of this. I hope you understand this, guys. David Lynch is a pervert.
Yeah, he's a big time pervert.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
He's like R.I.P. Huge pervert, but he had the aw shucks mentality where everybody didn't know what it like. Everybody was like, oh, that David, what he's doing is art. It's like, no, it is art, but he's also a pervert. Like
there's no, especially after watching Lost Highways, like there's something going on there. And he got away with it. Like,
still my favorite. That's still my favorite Lynch movie. I love that movie.
That's great.
Yeah. So yeah, gosh, what was I gonna say? Oh, who is the Dr. Phil guy in this movie? The guy that looks like Dr. Phil. I see him all the time.
Yeah.
I love him. I see him all the time in movies around this era.
That's Rex Lynn. I think he's married to what's her name? She's that country star, Reba.
He's married to Reba McEntire?
I think so, yeah. I think they just got married like 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I was looking on his Wikipedia page, but yeah, he is. He's my favorite. Like, he has so many funny like excess cursing, like curse words and like lines, especially when he's calling out Eric Quaylen the very end on the walkie-talkie. Like that's some like the best unfiltered like rants in action movies like this. But yeah, he was in I know he's in Rush Hour. Yeah, I don't know what else.
Another classic. I mean, this is a 90s classic, kind of forgotten classic for me. I don't think this movie did that well in theaters. Maybe it did, but Breakdown, Kurt Russell.
Okay.
That movie rules. It's just straight up like California desert trucker thriller. Oh my God. It's so good. Classic, like Kurt Russell plays like not a yuppie, but just like a suburban guy. And his car breaks down and he's like, I'll send my wife by herself to go get help. This trucker is really nice. He'll take her somewhere and then she's kidnapped. And then it's Kurt Russell fight or flight mode the rest of the movie. Fantastic.
Okay.
Yeah, highly recommend. I love it. But yeah, Cliffhanger was just really fun. I was like, man, like, can movies just be fun now? Like I'm I'm so sick of like the letter. I mean, it's just like Letterboxd and like Reddit. I feel like directors now, the fourth wall or the wall between that is like broken. I feel like directors have that in their mind is like, what are people on Letterboxd and Reddit? And are people going to pick it in the Criterion closet? I'm just like, dude, please make. Theaters are dying for theaters are dying for reasons out of their control, but also there's just not that fun theater movie that isn't Marvel, that isn't an already successful IP.
Yeah,
you know, that like just make a fun exploding movie. Like, gosh, like it's I don't know. Maybe it's tougher than you think. I don't know, but yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how you bring back that kind of sincerity of a movie that Cliffhanger is in that kind of category, that kind of bombastic kind of like. Well, it's a Stallone vehicle, so it's Stallone and then it's Cliffhanger. So like you're paying for Stallone first, and then you're paying for like the movie under that.
Yeah,
which you don't really have anymore. The closest we have is like Mission Impossible, which I'm a huge fan of. So every time that comes out, I'm like there day one. But but that used to be the norm. That wasn't like a rarity. It was like, you know, I don't know. Like you're right. Like the whole Letterboxd thing, the Reddit thing. I'm not gonna lie, it is a thing that I feel like you think about when you're making something, and it's like, I don't know, like I think directors were more concerned about like getting their days done, like having no cell phones on set, like having nothing but time to think about the project, and then also doing cocaine on the side probably helped.
Absolutely, no, 100%. One of the best, like just of like the. I'm not going to call him shitty because I don't think this movie was shitty, though I haven't revisited. But like, I remember my grandfather, him and I, like, he was like really old. Like for my I think he had my dad when he was really old. And then he was really old when I was a kid. And he was just, I didn't dislike him. I ended up, as I got older, I loved him, but I just didn't like know what to like talk to him about when I was 8 or whatever. And he one day he took me to see a movie, and he had seen it on TV. It was called Triple X. First, he's like, you know, my grandma's like, you're taking him to porn, you know, like, and so then we go and see it, and he thinks like I'm just gonna really like it. I'm gonna like score points with my grandson, and I did love it. And we're both just like eating M&Ms and just like straight up jaw on the floor. My grandpa, who's like maybe the last movie that he was like really into like movies like Crimson Tide and like just great movies, but like ship dramas, Navy, like you know, stuff, Gene Hackman, stuff like that. But he was just like, this is a dude jumping out of a plane into a Dodge Viper, and then like an already running Dodge Viper, and the guy's name is Vin Diesel. And my grandpa couldn't stop talking about it for like 5 years. It was not even like, I'm sure me being there was a lot of fun for him, but he was like, no, the movie was sick. He was like, sick. And he watched like, I think he watched the first Fast and the Furious because of it. Like, because of Vin Diesel. Because he's like, that's what you did. His era was like, what is the next, you know, Charlton Heston movie? You know what I mean? Like his era, like whatever he's doing next, that's what we're going to go see. I don't know if he kept up with the franchise. I don't think he did with Fast and the Furious, but or the Ice Cube. For some reason, I don't think he followed the Triple X Ice Cube version for some reason.
State of the Union. That was just like a sequel, but like spinoff. I don't know.
Yeah, I think already the Bald Italian was a stretch for him, but you know, Ice Cube might have been a bridge too far. Should we talk about the Patriot? Any last thoughts on Cliffhanger, guys? I mean, we could always come back to it, but I loved it. Highly recommend. What's that?
No, I think we're good. I'm good.
Okay.
I'll probably bring it back up, but
of course, Stallone, Gibson, of course. They fought once. You sent me a clip. They fought in the Expendables 3.
Yeah.
Mel Gibson and Stallone. That's so tight. Like
I know.
I never watched those. I haven't watched any of them. I was like, that can't be good, but like I know some people that actually quite enjoyed them.
I've only seen 1 and 2. 2 is better than the first one. The first one, Stallone directed the first one, and he did that right after Rambo 4, or Rambo as it's called, which is really good. But like Rambo has like kind of like a serious tone to it. It's like horrifically violent, and the first Expendables movie is like not having fun with itself. Like it's taking itself a little too seriously with like, there's like a full on waterboarding scene that's like in detail, like handheld up close. And it goes on for like 2 or 3 minutes. It's like, can we get back to Dolph Lundgren? Like, you know,
exactly. That's what I'm here for. I'm here for to watch these guys, like, you know, who were staples, you know, and it's basically like a Marvel universe, like Avengers, but for these guys, you know.
That predated Avengers too. So
it's true. Yeah, there you go.
From the 5 to the 6, we be in the mix. With that red candy paint job on the whip. I need food for the kids, money for the rent. Fuck a lockdown, baby, can't do shit.
So The Patriot, this is directed by Roland Emmerich, and he directed Independence Day. I think was his biggest smash, I would guess. This one was pretty good too. He would eventually do like 2012, I think, was another one. I looked at his filmography and I'm just like, it's just all like disaster movies that I don't watch typically. Like, I mean, not that I avoid them, but I was like, oh man, this guy really didn't do much else, did he? Like, that was worth it. But hey, had 2 smash hits. You know, as Orson Welles says, you only need one, which I don't think I don't think it's true. He just made Citizen Kane. All right, dude. And at 25 years old, dude, I heard Peter Bogdanovich talk about, because I covered the Last Picture Show not long ago, and he was like, I felt like such a failure because I said if I didn't make my first feature by 25, like Orson Welles, I felt like such a failure. I was like, dude, shut up. Like you're gonna make me suicidal.
Well, now it's 23 because Paul Thomas Anderson did Hard 8 at 23. It's like we could pump the brakes. You got time, you know.
Well, I'll put it to you this way: I don't think Hard 8's any good. So he didn't make his first good film for a while, to be honest.
Right,
I'll say, like, I mean, it's impressive. It's an impressive for like what it was. But and the fact that he got the people in it that were in there, I was like, wow, that's pretty impressive. But I remember I went through like all his filmography. I was like, man, that's people like pretend that that's his best movie, and I just don't think it is.
It's not. Boogie Nights is his best. I love There Will Be Blood, but Boogie Nights for me.
Boogie Nights is the most like rewatchable. Like There Will Be Blood is like you get a craving for it every couple of years, and you watch it, and you're like, oh my god, the scene of him leaving his son on the train. You're just like, oh god, it's this like it takes so much out of you. Whereas Boogie Nights is like, holy shit, that's like a porn epic. Like this has never happened, and it's so cool. So then, okay, the Patriot. This was a movie, like you said, I watched like over and over again, like on TV. I think I did not have money growing up, but my parents had HBO. Like there would be times like our phones would be off, like straight up, but like the TV was popping, like which hey, I would do the same thing. And, why would I want to hear the bill collector's call? And but the cable bill with HBO was on, and that was like not everybody had HBO back then, like you do now. And the Patriot was always on. And I remember watching it, and I was like, this movie's fucking sick. And then like you would rewatch it. And what makes it so cool, obviously Mel Gibson makes it so cool. Mel Gibson dadcore, like it's you cannot Mel Gibson dadcore era which was from I guess 2000 up until that Cartel, that Bloodfather movie, which is great. That was like that era of like just 10 years of, I think a decade of Mel Gibson dadcore movies. Signs, which I am an apologist for. I love Signs. And I'm forgetting a couple, I'm sure. But like just those Edge of Darkness.
Ransom. He's avenging his like Ransom. That has an awesome fight scene at the end too.
Dead Wife Core too. Big time widower. He's a big time widower guy. Like wife is like always dead in the movie. And I would watch it over and over again. But what makes it really crazy is that it starts off like literally like Disney level corny. Like just like wow, these are like Disney level corny, but like this sprawling, beautifully shot like fields and like all. You're like, this is incredible. And then it turns into like disgusting gore, and out of nowhere, like guys' legs getting sawed off, and you're like, what is this? As I get older and older, I'm like, I can't believe this ever happened. And it's by the way, it's a movie about America, which a lot of people probably don't like, right now. I love it though. Sai, you're a big fan. And you and I are in agreement on this, right? It's better than Braveheart.
Yeah, it's always been my favorite.
It's the best. It's the best.
And I'm not a Mel Gibson expert by any means, but it's always been my favorite Mel. And I watched it mainly. I gotta be honest, in clips to rewatch it for this time because I couldn't find it online. It was on Tubi, but it wouldn't let me click it, and it was in like Spanish. Yeah, and I was just, but it rules.
Oh no,
Yeah.
Sorry, by the way, the Spanish is English. Because when I rented it on Prime, it said El Patriota, which is tight.
Yeah.
Like that is tight.
It is.
Like,
Yeah, it is tight.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, but I was like, what? Because they're doing weird things to Mel's movies. I've noticed
They
took Isaiah
Yeah.
33, the scripture, out of Passion of the Christ randomly on streaming service.
Yeah.
Interesting. I have thoughts on that I won't say right
is
now.
that the opening
Yeah.
verse?
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. By the way, I forgot to comment on Cliffhanger, the title card, one of the best ever title card.
yeah.
Cliffhanger.
That's
But
right.
yeah, but the Patriot. Yeah, but I just saw somebody on Twitter post that, and I haven't rewatched it, and I have a DVD copy of it. But I rented Passion of the Christ last year. I was bleeding, wisdom teeth out, wanted to bleed with my savior, in solidarity with my savior. But I was watching it, and it was on during that because it's a beautiful verse. But yeah, like there are people like reporting it's just gone, like from the current thing. I'm like, that is weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. So just that's technically Mel Gibson dadcore movie in a way too. Passion of the Christ. It's your
Yeah.
when you think about it.
The OG. Dad core.
Yeah, the dad. Yeah. And yeah, that's interesting. But yeah, you're like, I love I just love this movie because for one, it's such a formula, and I love the formulas of these movies, like the formula of the Stallone vehicle. The Mel Gibson, you can do more things with Mel than you can Stallone. I mean, you just can. And because Mel Gibson's the best movie crier to ever exist.
100%.
Dude, his twitching of his face, it kills me. Like when he's holding Heath Ledger, you're just like it's so sad.
Wrenching.
It's gut-wrenching.
That and even the scene when he says goodbye to his daughter and the daughter finally like talks to him, like that had me like choked up a little bit too. And the way he's just like desperate not to leave, looking at his soon-to-be wife, but also sister-in-law.
Base, by the way. Yeah, I think that's tight. Yeah. I told my wife the same thing. I was like, I don't have a brother, but if I did, that's what I would expect to happen if I went. Like,
sure.
I'm medieval with it, dude. Unless he's like a junkie or something. But like, otherwise, I'd be like, no, you don't have a choice. It's him now. Like, I'd be like, but then we can all like, then in heaven, like, you're kind of like, at least I know that guy. It's not like I have to do some dude you met on like Tinder. In heaven,
it's so awkward.
Yeah. You're like,
let's not talk about that. But we have eternity for the rest of it.
Yeah. Is it Charles? Yeah, or something. Yeah, you're just like saying, I don't know. I wouldn't want that. So, but yeah. That part is crazy. Isn't that his actual daughter too?
I don't know. It could be.
Girl, I thought the blonde girl was his actual daughter. I think he only has one daughter. He's got like 50 kids, but
yeah, he's got quite a few.
Yeah, amazing. But yeah,
he did a great job. Like crying in that. So,
oh my gosh, oh, it's brutal, man. But yeah, it starts off. There's like these gags in this movie that are like stupid. Like the ink thing is like so dumb. But then it sets up just straight up dread for the rest of the movie. Like it just the dread so perfectly. Like I've just never seen any, and I think maybe that's a testament to like Roland Emmerich just maybe not like making that many good movies. Like I just wonder.
I have a theory that he didn't direct half of this.
Yeah, Mel.
And this feels like Mel took over at some point. Because I'll be honest, I don't like Roland Emmerich that much. Like I don't like Independence Day. I hate 2012. I think that's the last movie I've ever seen of his. Like that was just garbage to me. And like Michael Bay is better in this regard. I actually respect Michael Bay. But like Michael Bay does that annoying sidekick better than the Roland Emmerich does. Like Roland Emmerich always has like this knavish kind of like self-hating Jew character in his movies. And like, I don't know. It always just like rubs me off the wrong way. But yeah, there's none of like, there's silly gags in The Patriot, but all of like the battle scenes and like the emotional stuff feels like Gibson had his hand like directly over that.
And it's weird. And I wonder how much, because you watch, I think that Bloodfather movie that came out much later, that's directed by someone else, but it felt like just like, I'm the biggest Mel Gibson fan of all time. Let me do everything Mel would like want in a movie.
Sure.
And I almost wonder if that's where we're at sometimes, where it's like, even just Mel's presence is like, well, this is, we're just doing the Mel Gibson thing because it works so well. You know, Lethal Weapon's another movie where his wife's dead. You know, like, just, that scene always kills me in Lethal Weapon when he looks at the picture and he just like, he can't handle it. But what were you gonna say, Cy?
Just on this topic, I like with Apocalypto, any of these Braveheart, like the church scene, burning everyone alive, the redcoats burning, where they always have to do these little fact checks of the history of Mel Gibson movies. Like, actually, that never happened. You know, and I just love that part of it. That
first off, fuck the British. Fuck the British.
Fuck the Redcoats.
Especially right now. Like right now, watching this movie, I've never been like rah American flag guy. Right now, I kind of am, but especially when it comes to Britain, after what they've put out on Netflix recently,
we just never have to listen to them again on anything. You know, it's just we're done.
And I'm Irish, so it's like on both hands. Like they persecuted both. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't worst empire ever.
But you know what I mean? There's just always this weird like kind of nagging, kind of like going after Mel. It's always been that way too. You know, it's just always like actually that never really happened, and it's like. It's a fucking movie, first of all, you know, and I don't know, it's just funny.
Well, like I said, I any YouTuber that does that to Mel Gibson movies, I then go on their channel and I search hidden figures, and they didn't fact check hidden figures. So, all right,
it is astounding how many, like, if you just YouTube the Patriot review, you'll just get a whole stack of just like worst written character ever, like. The Patriot misogynist, you know, like I don't know. And you Google it too, and it's nothing but just like bad articles, and you get the same, not to an extent, because I think Braveheart, because it's like such an award-winning movie. I don't think the Patriot won anything or was nominated for even Best Picture, but even that is it's always like there's this slander of like Mel Gibson's movies that are trying to like. Get you away from watching it. It's a weird little conspiracy that I kind of like stumbled upon, like even last night. Like after rewatching it, I was just like, I want to find at least a review about the movie and not about how accurate it was. And I couldn't find one.
Oh no, and there is this objective like final boss quality if you hate Mel Gibson. Like you got to break out your big guns to take him down. Like there's because first off, everyone loves him secretly. Like that's the problem. Like dude, when I was growing up, now I'm come from a family of like Democrats who don't like him anymore. You know, but my mom had a friend who she also doesn't like him anymore. She had a dog named Riggs. And a dog named Mel. And I swear to God, dude, like she was a hairdresser, so his like big ass like feathery mullet back in the day like was setting her wild. And because it's just Mel's just high tea. He's just super high tea. They don't know what to do about this guy. Like even people that hated him after Passion of the Christ, which a lot of haters after that. The same people that hate him gave him a bunch of money to make Apocalypto right after. They were like, you're still hella tight. You're still hella tight. So now there's like I saw Flight Risk in theaters and had a great time. I had a great time. It's dumb, but it's a fun. That was what I was talking about. It's just a fun movie that's self-aware. Mel goes on Rogan and says, look, this is my fun movie. This is my fun movie. I'm making Passion 2. Which I cannot wait.
I can't wait either.
Oh my God. Caviezel's back too.
It's going to be sick.
Yeah, I'm so pumped. Like I can't wait for that. But a couple things about this movie that I love is right off the bat, you get a kid dying. Like Jason Isaacs is ruthless. He's having a huge revival because of White Lotus, and rightfully so. But the Jason Isaacs back then, he's in Harry Potter right around this time too, as Lucius Malfoy, villain face to the core, just British evil bird-like villain that he has. Though his hair looks sick as fuck in the Heath Ledger scene, I will say. Like I was like, is that real hair? Like it looks real. His hair. Mel has extensions, you can tell, but like his hair was like whipping in that Heath Ledger scene with his gay little British sword that he brings out, and like he's like, but he's ruthless, and he shoots that kid. And these are all like look like Disney Channel kids. I feel like I've recognized these kids from like Disney Channel original movies, and just get shot in the back in front of their house. And you're like, what? Like, this is what this movie is amazing.
No. I mean, just the forest scene is probably one of the best action scenes.
The hatchet scene is unreal. Giving your kids the gun, your kids the guns, and saying aim small, miss small, and they're saying it to themselves. It's real Disney. There's a real Disney corniness to it, but then like some crazy shit is happening. You're like, whoa,
he had to have directed that scene specifically. Like, there's no way Roland Emmerich.
Sure.
I don't know. I just don't think Roland Emmerich has that in him. Like,
I agree. I agree because you're expecting all these other. When you look up his filmography, you're expecting like, oh, he did that. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, he did that. Yeah, that makes sense. That's a good movie. And you're like, no, he doesn't really. I'm neutral on Independence Day. It was never my favorite. I have a soft spot for it because I listen to Art Bell Coast to Coast all the time, and his stuff from that time. Everyone's calling, hey, Art, this is Jim from New Mexico. Have you seen Independence Day yet? I'm dying. He's like, no, I haven't seen it yet. I will say, Art, you got to see Independence Day because it's an alien movie. I do. That's my positive memory of Independence Day. I have a feeling I wouldn't like it if I watched it again. Just
Will Smith stuff in general just doesn't age well. Music, movie, like I hate to say, I got respect for the dude, but it's just you watch like iRobot or whatever. It's just corny. It's kind of cool. I do like iRobot,
like
but
real
it's like,
comedy. He as a comedic actor, I really like him. Bad Boys 1 and 2 are fantastic. Like and because it's Will Smith just being funny. Mike Lowry, you know what I'm saying? And Martin Lawrence play well together. Two classic like '90s, comedic sitcom actors essentially. And that stuff works. But yeah, like I Am Legend, iRobot is terrible. I just don't like that movie at all. I don't know. What was the other one?
I did not murder him. It's one of the best lines of all time.
Yeah. What's the one where he where 5 pounds or what's that one? That not good.
I think it's 7 pounds.
7, whatever.
He was trying to do the Pursuit of Happiness, I think, but it failed or something.
Yeah, but people, I mean, I swear, when we were in high school, remember, he was like, everyone's like, have you seen I Am Legend? I was like,
Legend. I saw that in theaters.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, Mel, I mean, like, Mel is just like, I think he takes over even by proxy, even if he wasn't doing like the John Cassavetes, like on Rosemary's Baby, like, we got to do this, we got to do that. He might have just taken over by proxy, and it just.
I think so too. Yeah, because I was watching this interview of Jason Isaacs talking about the making of Patriot. It was like from a few years ago. And he said, like, this is how Mel is on set. He'll just like tell you a story, like a really funny story while chain smoking cigarettes. And they're like, Mel, we need you. And it was like during the scene where he like hacks that guy with the tomahawk. And he just like, he's able to just like tell this hilarious story. And then he gets into character and break back to tears. And then when he says cut, and it goes back to the crew, he's like, so like what I was saying, and then he like lights up another cigarette. So I think it is just like his like just through like his presence and stuff.
Yeah. Anyways, that guy Hiram Finkelstein I was telling you about. That guy. I mean, I just find him fascinating. I listened to his Joe Rogan interview twice. I thought he was incredible. I love how he dodged the theory of evolution question that Joe wanted to earnestly debate him on. He's like, don't care. He's like, just don't care. He's like, anyways, go on. And Mel has this like, you could tell he used to do a lot of drugs because he has that like bright eye look about him when you talk to him. But I love his new look with the beard, the kind of like castaway look that he does. Dragged Across Concrete is a in my opinion, just a classic. It's still I'm forever grateful for S. Craig Zoller for bringing back like a bunch of canceled actors in like these 3 wonderful films that he made. But within the Patriot, it's like again, you're like, I can't stress it enough. It feels like you're watching like Jerry Bruckheimer's like Pirates of the Caribbean that turns into like American like Blood Meridian or something.
Yeah.
It's so crazy. The battle, the cannonballs blowing off the guy's leg and the guy's head is like, my gosh.
I know. Like it's incredible. I wonder if like, I guess like I'm now like connecting like the Disney feel to it with like especially like the kids and stuff.
Yeah.
But I wonder if like some of that is John Williams' score that's also feeding into
True.
that, because
True.
that score is like
yeah.
one of his best, I think. But it does get
Did-
sappy, like because John Williams always has like a sappy tone to some of his stuff.
Well, you can't do melodies in scores anymore. It's like an
No.
antichrist, you know. So that really
my boy Trent Reznor ruined that. Unfortunately, I love him to death. He did ruin that. Although he came back with Challengers. At least with Challengers, he decided he's doing Tron, the new Tron, which could be. He's gonna have to do something like that.
Yeah.
Like it can't just be ambient. You know, like it has to have some sort of, at least rhythmically speaking, has to have like some tones that can be catchy or something. Because the Gone Girl score I don't think is that good. Like everybody always just goes like, "Well, you won for Gone Girl or Social Network." I'm like, it's
Sure.
fine. It's fine. I like the big orchestral stuff. I just give me that stuff. Give me, Hitchcock movies are so good because Hitchcock's great, because he's a pervert, and because Bernard Herrmann is just like has incredible. Like it's all great, and I'm just like, the maximalism of this movie is just so refreshing. And it's like they gave you this much money, you can see every dollar spent. You know, every dollar spent. I mean, just the war scenes, the marching of it. It kind of is Braveheart in a way too, like just the misfits, the militia of just kind of like farmers and stuff. And I just love that it's unapologetically like, let's just do Mel Gibson's greatest hits. Let's just do Mel Gibson's greatest hits in a movie, and it works. It's great.
I think even the script works by itself too, because I think his character is interesting from the bat. You know, it opens with that awesome quote, "I've long feared that my sins would come back to haunt me, but the cost is more than I can bear." And like that sets the tone. Like we're going into some serious shit later. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
But right now we're gonna get into like Disney-esque, plantation stuff. But I think the story just like everything just feels right. Like you can complain about the church scene not being historically accurate. Who cares? Because that makes the ending fight scene that much more like emotionally satisfying.
Yeah. You want to, and that fucking traitor that sold everybody out. Oh my God. Like you want to jump out the screen and kill him and Jason Isaacs. The turncoat. You want to do it. And shout out to the French guy too. Love the French guy. Absolutely. I love the whole, like, for some reason I thought this movie was post 9/11. But it wasn't. It was
before,
because it feels very unify against the common enemy. Like, oh, you're a slave. I don't care, dude. You're my Donald Logue. Like, it's an honor to serve next to you. I kind of felt like it felt very post 9/11 propaganda in a refreshing way. I long for that, to be honest. Like compared to what we get now. But I like long for that. But it felt like that. I was like, wow, this was just like kind of like late 90s when it was filmed, like late 90s, just like multiculturalism. Like, let's just have fun. We have a nation now, and it's great.
Yeah.
Like, it was just, I don't know. And people pretend like, oh, that was a facade. I was like, I don't know. To me as a kid, it wasn't. It felt like I wasn't thinking about racism or any like crazy stuff like that at the time. And if it was framed to you as like, we solved a lot of stuff, guys. Yes, our country's history has some things with it that maybe you can, but like we're one world, like we're together, and all that stuff. And now it's just like, actually everything you've been told is a lie, and this is how we got to the moon. Sorry, I'm still stuck on Hidden Figures, but
sure.
I love that. And like, I literally want to watch this movie again, and definitely the hatchet scene. I could watch that just in. My dad's a big movie scene on YouTube guy, and my dad loves just watching scenes from like Seven on YouTube or like something like this. He loves doing that. I would do that with the hatchet scene, man, because it's too sick. Even the other one too, the one where they sneak up on the little British carriage things, and they think there's like 6 dudes, and then they all pop out like a clown car. They all pop out, and then everybody comes from the hills. It's like it's a feeling I don't get anymore in film. I like of just like, You know, like, and it's not just jump scare horror, you know what I mean? But it's actual dread. It's like, oh my gosh, like they're gonna lose more people because I've already seen a kid die, so there's nobody's off limits. And Mel Gibson dies in half the movies he's in, so you just don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
literally, like rewatching it last night, I knew it was coming. Like I know this movie very well, but it's like I can't believe they killed off Heath Ledger like that after burning his wife alive and his entire family, and then earlier with like Thomas, the kid that gets shot in the back.
2 sons.
Yeah, like that's insane. And like, I think these types of movies are made with earnesty that I just don't think exists in movies anymore. And I don't know if that's like a millennial problem. Like I feel like millennials just like don't know how to be earnest with their writing or their art or anything. But like, you don't even like back then, you don't have to think about being earnest with what you're writing. You're just like writing it to, you know, like this is what we're doing. We're not going to comment on it. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's the C word you just said right there. I think is exactly the millennial problem. We are, and I say this, as a guy who comments on things, we are commentary just obsessed. Yes. Everything is a commentary. Everything is this. Everything is that. Everything is a comment. Blah blah blah. Like we wouldn't make this movie. We wouldn't. Well, for one, millennials, we have lived experience, but like we feel the need to like listen to like other people's lived experience. We want to tell other people's stories. Like we want to do. We just. I don't know. I have a tough time with our generation right now. It's just been like it's just. I don't know. Like they cry all the time, which yes, there are legit problems that have happened to the millennial generation, but like they kind of like self-stunt ourselves a little bit and like don't grow up and understand that there are consequences to things and stuff. And just like, you can tell like like you said, there's an earnesty and like, so even some of my favorite people, some of my favorite comedians, some of my favorite personalities or something, I'm like, you're fucking 37. Drop the irony.
Right. Yeah.
Just like, please stop. Like, and they'll speak in earnest. They'll speak in earnest. Like, and you'll be like, wow, that was great. And they're like, oh, and they apologize for it sometimes. And I'm just like, I'm tired of these ironic movies. I'm tired of fucking people just break. I saw this horror movie. Oh God, I can't even remember. It was an Irish horror movie where it had a very good concept. It was a woman, it was a woman, very weird, like Tilda Swinton Greyhound looking woman who had a like this wooden doll in the house, and it was sitting on a chair, and the doll had its mouth open. It was a big wooden carved out like statue you would see on like a park bench or something, and it had its mouth carved open and stuff. And people would go, "What the fuck is that?" in the room. People would go, "What is that?" And she's just like, she was just this person, and she's blind, right? So she's like, "What's what?" You know, and it was this thing that arrived, and it was this. She was just haunting these people, and you know, the twist is they had her sister killed, so she was like, "I'm a blind woman, I need help," and then all this weird shit starts arriving into their house. The end of the movie is like this. All of a sudden, this very ironic, like '90s song, I believe, starts playing, and then it just ruins the entire tone of the movie. And I was just like, you know, I know Luca Guadagnino's not a millennial, but he made a movie called Queer, which I thought was quite interesting. I was like, this is interesting. Yet we're playing in 50s Panama hat, 50s like heroin, like paradise, gay heroin paradise. We're playing Nirvana. We're playing Prince songs. And it's just like, what are we? They're trying to catch you off guard more than they're trying to entertain you, and it pisses me the fuck off about millennial people.
I think James Gunn ruined all that for us. Like just putting like hit soundtracks, it's the needle drop thing, which I can't stand anymore. It's like picking not an obscure 70s song, but like not one that you would know right off the bat. And then he just drops it on Guardians of the Galaxy, and now like every movie since then has to have a needle drop scene. Quentin Tarantino kind of did it too, but his felt more organic in that regard. But I don't know. I think you're right. Like, going back to the Patriot, like I was trying to think of like, for one, like if you did make this today and you had the slaves on the plantation and you had that line of saying like, we're not slaves, we're freedmen, we work here willingly. Like, even me watching that now, I'm like, that's a stretch. But also, like, if it was
Yeah.
made today, that line wouldn't exist, or that character, like, would probably be elevated to a point where it's like it'd have to like overshadow like Mel Gibson's character or something like that. Like,
Right.
you'd have to comment on it and you'd have to make a big deal about it. But this movie is, it kind of does like sweep it under the rug, but it does it in a way where it's like, this is not really what this movie's about. It's
No.
about, it's a revenge movie with Mel Gibson. You know?
Exactly. And guess what? American flag at the end. Yeah, all of it's there. It's refreshing. You know, at the time you don't appreciate stuff like that because it's just movies are like that, and it's what happens. But yeah, the slave thing I did. We're in a weird spot ever since 12 Years a Slave. How like you can, if you're a white guy making a film, you just can't touch the subject whatsoever. Not from a positive way or from a real, you know, whatever you think is the realistic way. Django was also another one like that, though I think that's a different kind of movie than 12 Years a Slave. It's not meant to be like a historical drama, but but like you're not gonna touch those anymore. But it's like, it's weird because like then you see movies like, you know, what Ryan Coogler does, which I think I think that guy's a talented guy that makes bad movies.
Interesting. I love Creed, but I don't.
Creed is good. Creed is good.
I love Creed because I love Stallone, obviously.
No, and it's a good movie. I think Creed is a good like extension of like the Rock. I hate this term, but like the Rocky universe. I think it's like a pretty solid like I don't know if it's like quote unquote canon, but like it feels like I'm like, no, that was cool. I think we saw it in theater. I was like, this is good.
Yeah.
You know, and all that. I just like this Sinners thing I'm looking at now. I'm like, what, really? 99% Rotten Tomatoes.
Yeah, that's a little. That's another problem. I'm interested in seeing that just because visually it looks good. Like that would be a movie that I'd like to see in IMAX. I'm sure it's gonna make me try to hate myself by the end.
Which again, do it artfully. Like, if you're gonna make me think about something, like don't be heavy-handed with it. Like make a movie that like takes me for a ride. You know what I'm saying? And then the reveal at the end is like, you know, something I would see like during 2020 locked in my house about how I'm evil. You know what I mean? Like that's like, you're right. Like, and I think, like I said, this is a talented guy. He's a Bay Area guy, football player. Like I was like, I like his story and everything. Yeah. And I feel like, well, for one, he's probably just rolling in money right now. So I can't really, you know, what he's doing makes money, especially Black Panther and stuff. But man, it is like, it just, I feel like I can watch it and I go, you know what? I think I know who the villain is in this, and or if it's Jordan Peele, I think I know what the entity is.
Right.
I think I know. You know, you know, it's just I think I know, and then you see it. You know, the Rotten Tomato thing, the Rotten Tomato rating already comes out. So then everybody's got that in their mind that this movie's about this, therefore it's automatically good because it's a commentary on this issue that could never be bad if it's done the right way. Then it's got 99%. So you're going against this consensus. If you don't like it, you're being a contrarian, people say. Yeah. And I hate it. I hate the whole ecosystem of film right now.
Yeah. I'm probably going to see that next week. But for those type of movies, I have to wait like almost years until that hype kind of dies down. I still haven't seen Everything Everywhere All at Once. I don't think I will at this point, but it's like that hype was like unbearable for me to like endure. I was like, I'm good. I'm gonna wait this one out.
That's the thing, is the person telling you is like they're like in your face with like bloodshot eyes, like you need to see. I'm like, you like they think like I need to fix something about myself by seeing it. It's like that's not why I go to the movies. You know what I'm saying? Like it's not why I go. And I'm even tired of the other way around. I'm tired of the like anti, like the heavy-handed, like this is my anti-cancel culture movie. I'm like, no, like I get it. For a while, you kind of needed to hit people over the head with that because it had gotten way too far in one direction. But my problem is like when people acknowledge the boogeyman in the room, that makes it win. And what I love is that people who can just like ignore the rules. I think Mike White does this right now perfectly. He just ignores the rules. He just does what he does. He's not saying, oh, and I wanted that character to be a libtard, you know, or something like that. He just does it, and if you get it, if you're in on it's entertaining on a surface level, but if you're also are in on the joke a little bit or in on the satire, it has this extra level to it. And I'm sick of like the heavy-handedness of like these films. And like, again, you can be heavy-handed if you're fucking coming out of planes like Stallone and doing all this stuff. They're not doing that though. They're not doing that. Like, it's like I watch these movies of like AI Tom Hanks like aging in a house. Did that movie ever come out? All I heard about from the trailer was, look at this movie of like Tom Hanks and I forget who the actress was, and they're like aging in like AI or something. I don't even know what that movie was. I never heard about it. We're in such a trailer economy now that it really bothers me.
I think
I haven't heard of that one.
You saw it?
I saw that. Yeah.
I think you saw it. You think you saw it?
Well, if it's the one I saw in a movie with an aging Tom Hanks, like it was on Netflix. It was horrible. Yeah, it was
it's called
Here. There you go.
Yeah.
Here. Yeah. It was weird. Oh no, I'm thinking of Otto. OTTO.
No, that's different. That's the one I'm talking about is him, where it's like 50s or 60s, like they're in the house and they're like aging and they're like commenting on like the technology and stuff. I'm just like, I don't care about that at all. And then nobody does though. That's the thing, is nobody does. But like, people have to get hyped about current things so much that they like, the trailer comes out, like, I'm gonna go see the Wes Anderson movie. You know why? Because I know exactly what Wes Anderson's gonna do. It's not gonna blow my mind, but I know exactly what he's gonna do. And it's one thing that only he does, really, like only he does. And I get it when people say they don't like him. I'll never defend him to anybody who doesn't like him. But I'm just like, I saw people freaking out over a trailer. Oh, he's doing the same thing over and over again. Same with Paul Thomas Anderson's new movie, which is an adaptation of a Thomas Pynchon novel, which it looks like a pretty faithful adaptation of a Thomas Pynchon novel, which he's already done with Inherent Vice and a little bit with The Master. And I was just like, man, people just react to trailers, and then second trailers come out, and then third trailers come out, and I'm like, have I seen the movie already?
Yeah, and then the trailer comes out before all that.
Extended one during the Chiefs game. You're like, oh, all right, man. Like, I guess I saw every part of this movie.
They even make new trailers for old movies now. You know, they do like, it's crazy.
Trailers and trailers and trailers all over the place. But yeah, to the Patriot though, Heath Ledger, it is interesting though, because Heath Ledger is like a rom-com star around this time. He's not the Joker. That was his last thing. He's not the Joker, but because I just remember it was such this rom-com pretty boys doing the Joker. It was such a thing, and he's dead actually, because I think the movie came out after he died. But they didn't even finish editing in it. Like I thought he was dead. For something. But this movie, he was doing like 10 Things I Hate About You. I think was that the movie he did. I think it was. I think he was in that, and he was A Knight's Tale. I think was right around that time too. Yeah. That's another movie with some.
Based. No, just kidding.
It's a good movie. I liked it, but I remember rewatching it randomly, and I'm like, is this where the fucking putting contemporary music in like medieval times shit started? Like, I was like, this is so strange. It is. That was good, but he gives again, him and his love interest in here both don't have the best fate. Like, they have such a, like, they stick out like sore thumbs in a period piece, but none of it matters. That's what I love about it. It's like none of it matters. It's like when you watch a Roman Polanski movie. When I did a Roman Polanski deep dive, he does not give a shit about everyone having the same accent. He literally does not care. He does movies in France where it takes place in France. You see like the Eiffel Tower in the background, and it's just like a guy from New York going, "Hey, so you want an apartment or what?" Yeah, and it's just like they don't care. And I'm like, I love when people. That's the problem with like modern film now, is you have way too many fact checkers. Yeah, like it's just tough. Like, I do feel for people trying to create stuff right now, like because you can't ignore it. I check the comments when I post an episode. I'm not a guy that just unplugs. Like, you are a slave to an audience in a way, but your audience is like, there's like a million Pauline Kaels now, but none of them know shit.
All right.
Like, it sucks. It sucks.
The micromanaging, like on set and stuff is like, I can't imagine like Tarantino working like this, or PTA working like this. Like, I can't, like, I've never been on like a set where it's like, either it's like kind of my own or like even someone else's, where it's like we're all focused on making this one thing. Everyone is like just on the phone half the time, and like would this really happen? Or like, hey, there's this thing in the shot
my
that doesn't
gosh.
make, it's just like, I'm big picture guy. Like, let's get the big picture, because I think that's kind of what the details do matter, but you hire the right people to look out for those details. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's
Would you
everything.
would you
Go ahead.
yell? Would you freak out on somebody on set? Because like for me, I would just be like, would this happen? Well, I know something that happens. You're fired. See you. Bye.
No,
You can't do that though, huh? Yeah, it's
uh, no, I couldn't do that. Like, when I'm like stressed for time, I wouldn't fire somebody, but I would definitely like try to take care of the situation. But I'm
Yeah.
just solely focused on like getting what I need and like what I want, like
yeah.
in the time that I have, which is like very little. So it's like everything is like kind of, you get tunnel vision, I think, especially like on an indie level.
Yeah.
No outbursts yet, but like maybe tense such situations. So
Hell yeah, dude. That's why I'm like, dude, I would almost, what's weird about that is like I try to think of either side. If I was working for somebody, I would also like, I would expect tense moments. Like, cause it would show that you give a shit, like a lot of times,
sure.
like being these, like, sports. I grew up playing sports. Like, your coach yelling at you is just as effective as him giving you the high five. It's in fact more, and you hate it at the time. You might go home like, damn, that guy's a fucking dick. But then you're sleeping at night and you're like, nah, he was right. Or something like that. Dude, there's just way too much stuff happening. You're doing the right thing as far as doing it your own way.
Sure.
Hopefully it works out. I mean, we'll do our best, because we'll do our best and definitely hit the podcast circuit, promote it. I definitely want to promote like people actually just, I'm tired of commentaries and like takes, and more so like, what are you working on? Are you guys working on anything? Because the way you beat stuff is by putting out stuff that sadly people will have to copy, but
Sure.
putting out a template is what you're doing a lot of times during this time where everybody understands that like these are a lot of these novels, film, TV, even to an extent, it's kind of like not what it used to be. Even people who are like love the current thing, they deep down they know this shit should be better than it really is. So I'm like, it's important to like highlight those people, and just who's doing the right thing, who's doing something interesting, who's doing this, who's doing that. It's like, so well, yeah, everybody make sure this will be out definitely with some time for you guys to donate to Knuckles. It'll be in the description of the episode too. Get just whatever you can, guys, whatever you can. I gave $1 million, but don't even like, guys, don't even, you do not.
Yeah, I'm funded. I'm already funded.
yeah. I was like, you just funneled that to the vacation fund, after the film.
No, but I need more. I need more for that.
No, it's fine. Next installment, we're a monthly paying kind of thing. I signed up for the monthly plan, not to brag, but no, guys, don't, just whatever helps. I understand what it is, like how it is. You just want to, or even just like signal boost it a little bit, just like show it to a couple people or something. And yeah, I mean, anything else? You said MK. I need to watch your MK Ultra movie. That's on YouTube?
Yeah, just type in MK Ultra Violence.
Okay. I was gonna say, because I can't just type in MK Ultra, because I have a lot of other things I've typed in.
Oh, sure.
We need that. Yeah. So yeah. MK Ultra Violence. Okay, cool. Yeah, we definitely need to check that out. Everybody, I highly recommend Jack. By the way, guys, that's a great short.
Thank you.
And yeah, best of luck to the Knuckles. And on that note, guys, everybody have a safe week. We'll catch you guys next time.